Can all eyes and ears see me and hear me? If so, let the church say amen. It is a beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. I am so grateful for the sun on this first Sunday in December, maybe second Sunday in December. November has been so cold and so dreary that just, yes, God, for shining your grace on us. Well, I'm here today with just a few reflections on some things. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm enjoying my lunch. I am eating a charred kale salad with some the egg is doubled once I put it in here, but with some eggs, olives, and artichokes. It's gonna be a little bit of a mukbang because I'm gonna be eating and talking, doing both at the same time, like a lady should. So I just saw Queen and Slim last night, and I wanted to share my reflections on that movie. First of all, I think that Melina Massatukis, I believe that that's how you say pronounce her last name, did a marvelous job directing, and shout out to Lena Waithe for the screenplay. I think that it was really well written. And you could tell that the two of them just really have like a passion for what they're doing, and I think that it's so important that we support Black art because these artists and these storytellers have the opportunity to showcase the things that they're passionate about. And we just need more platforms for Black people to be creative. And so I'm in 100% support of rooting for everybody Black and everything Black. But yeah, it was a really, really good film. I know that everybody has different opinions, but I think when you think about a good film, you have to think about a film that captivates you. And I believe that Queen and Slim had you kind of like on the edge of your seat. It had you captivated from beginning to end. You were rooting for them. You wanted to protect them. You wanted to take care of them. You wanted to take them in. You know, a part of you was wondering, like, what if this were me and my pairing and my significant other? Like, what would we do? What if I had went on a date with somebody that I had never known before and we get into this altercation? Like, what would we do? And so I think it was really, really cool to be so invested in that, in their characters. I know their names were given. I think their names weren't given until the end. And it's so crazy because you don't even realize, like, the whole movie, you don't know these people. Like, you don't know their name. You know their faces. Like, I know that, what is his name? Daniel Kaluuya. I recognize him from Wakanda and from Get Out. And so he's kind of a familiar face. But Jodie Turner-Smith, I had never seen her before. This was the first time I had seen her. And, I mean, just to give them shouts out to y'all. Y'all did an amazing job acting in this film, portraying Queen and Slim and portraying the story. I think you both did the story justice. I think that it was also just beautiful to see the two of you together in that space, and just holding space for Black love on the big screen. I think it was really, really beautiful. And a lot of people were like upset that they were British and blah, blah, blah. As somebody who will identify as, number one, me, myself, and I can identify with aspects of Pan-Africanism and the Pan-African movement. Just like giving Black people a face. Like, I think that you have to have the wisdom enough in yourself to know that everybody Black is not the same. We as Black people have to remember that. Yes, we are all Black and we do not all have the same experiences. That's also true. But they are actors and they are acting a story out. They're not being hired to live out my true life or, you know, your true life. They're being hired to play the story, to tell the story. And I think that they did a marvelous job telling the story. I think that I hope that they recorded like alternate scenes. This is where we're gonna get a little spoily. And so if you didn't see the movie, I would either fast forward this part or I would cut it until you see the movie. But for those of you who did see the movie, I don't know about you, but I got to a point where I was like, yo, I think that they're really gonna make it. I'm like checking my watch. I'm like, it's about time we really make it. And so I really, really thought that we were gonna make it. All of us. I am queen. I am she. So the fact that they did not make it, like I cried. Like I was so upset. Like as soon as they got on the tarmac and that little slime ball ass nigga drove off and the cops, oh my God, I was heartbroken. It was so heartbreaking. That scene was so heartbreaking. And I'm just imagining like, just looking at your fate and looking at your life and being like, you know what, this is the end. And going out like with that much pride, I think is beautiful. And the portrayal of that is beautiful. But in that moment, like I really wanted them to get to Cuba. And I mean, it raises so many, the movie itself, the film itself raises so many just themes around Black love. You know, the fact that without this tragedy pulling them together, would Queen had needed Slim? Like would they had needed each other? Because they didn't really seem to have clicked. Without the trauma, without the assault, would they have even connected in the first place? You know what I mean? It seemed like she might have just been there for the sex, and it seemed like he just kind of wanted to meet somebody new. And so it didn't seem like their love had a chance of surviving in that reality. It seemed like their love was so great and so strong that it needed the catalyst of all of this happening, him having to defend her and protect her, and then in turn she protecting him and looking out for him and taking care of things and making the right judgments, you know what I mean? Because I think that, you know, she is the reason that they got so far, like covering her tracks. Like not, unfortunately, it's like you can't always be a good person to be the best person. Sometimes you have to make really, really tough choices. And I think that Queen's character made a lot of tough decisions on their trail, on their journey. And I think that her decisions making made them extremely safe. But yeah, you just think about whether or not Black love had a chance of surviving, has a chance of surviving, and can survive. It's definitely something that is really thought-provoking that came out of this film. We all wanted to make it, but will it make it? So then that got me thinking about our divine pairings and our twin flames and our soulmates. Excuse me for 1 second. And you will have to forgive me. I am a little bit sick. I am nursing myself back to health, so I won't even say that I'm sick. I will say that I am getting better. I am in a state of illness, and I'm going to be experiencing wellness. So, forgive me while I blow my nose and then continue talking. Just for a moment, I wanted to talk about illness and wellness. like I said, I'm in a state of illness and I'm moving into a state of wellness. I have realized that I have not taken the best care of myself. I have definitely allowed my healing and my wellness to be in other people's hands. And this time right now, I'm taking my healing back. I'm taking my power back. I'm reining it all in. And I'm truly putting it in the power of my own hands. And so with that being said, there are just different things that I'm going to be experiencing and doing and sharing on health and taking a holistic approach to your routine, your ritual, and your lifestyle. On that note, I'm going to take another bite of my salad. I've been eating a ton of kale lately because kale has a lot of iron and potassium and alkaline and estrogen and all of that. And it's just so leafy and green. I feel really good when I eat it. I feel like it's good for my hair. I feel like it's good for my bones and my tendons, and just feels really good. I also love to mix up like herbs and spices and all of that for whenever I make a salad. Because, you know, different herbs are good for all these different things, like just physically and like in the meta world as well. Okay. Now, on that note, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So back to Queen and Slim and Black Love and will Black Love survive and how Black Love will survive. A lot of us can say that we would know what we would do if we were by ourselves. We don't know what we would do with the person maybe that necessarily that we were with. We can only imagine. And it's also like one of those things that's like easier said than done. You know, me and my parent kind of had different, my parent at the time kind of had different viewpoints on what we would do and how we would do it. And a conversation about the necessity of the pairings came up. Like, why are you with the person that you were with? You know, I think that Slim's character has such a strong conviction and belief in God, and Queen's character's belief was faltering, but she knew certain things for sure. She knew instincts, but things that were kind of more so in the crown area, she was a little off. I felt that he constantly found room for safety and room for blessings and room for protection, where she kind of found resources and things that they needed to survive. And so he was also more good-hearted, I would say, than she was. She definitely was very cold and calculating, and he was just very like open. And you know, I think in the dynamic in a lot of relationships between men and women, especially right now, Black men and Black women, the women, we have been very calculated, and we have been very cold and very stern and very dark. And this speaks to the essence of the divine feminine, that in the same way that there is toxic masculinity, there is toxic femininity as well. And I think being so cold and so calculating and so I know everything and I got everything all together and I have all the answers, that you forsake the goodness that the man brings to the table. And so in thinking about survival, you know what I mean? In order to survive, you have to accept You have to accept your current environment, your current situation, and all of that. And you know, this might be a little bit far out, far reaching, and a far cry from where we were in that movie. But I think at one point we envisioned them having a baby and bringing life into this world. And what would that child be? You know what I mean? Like, that child would be a fuel would be fueled with all of this revolution and all of this love and all of this passion and all of this magic and all of this black magic to survive and to live and to thrive, and hope. That baby would be full of so much hope. And having our children with hope is something that I got from that movie. Is that, you know, I was talking to my mother a few days ago, and she, you know, broke some things down to me in the car about really truly believing that things would be different for my generation than they were for hers. And she said that she's really been revealed to the mask that the man wears. And I don't mean the man as in man, woman, child. I mean the man as in institution, racism, the powers that be, those entities, the mask that wears, and how it has been able to shift over time and still oppress and overpower black people. And she was like, you know, I really thought that things would be different. And so I know my revolution and my fight is so strong that I know that things are going to be different for my children. That doesn't mean that they're going to be where they should be. But if I keep manifesting, if I keep thinking that I am queen and I got on that plane and I made it to Cuba, or I made it to Trinidad, or I made it to wherever I can be extradited back here. You know what I mean? I made it to the promised land. Our children are still going to have that innocence. And I think that the conversation about two really, really beautiful black magic moments that I loved from that movie was when Queen had asked Slim to tell her story, and he told her about how he believed, how the conversations he had with his loved ones about children coming into the world. And it was such a tender moment. It was such a cute story. Everybody had a different reason. And just believing and knowing and trusting that your children are going to carry on your legacy. You know, my pairing that is out there that is mine to create my family with. I'm putting out into the cosmos, into the universe, that I will be their legacy, and I will be able to take care of myself now in experiencing the state of illness and wellness, so that when I need to take care of my pairing or my children, that I can continue to do that, so that we can nurture, so there can be more hope in the world, and more change, and more space for us, and more protection for us. And then the second thing that I liked was Queen's prayer at the dinner table, because the whole movie, Queen was a little bit of disbelief that God is real and that she could pray and things like that. But as a woman, we always know we might stray. We might stray from the flock, we might stray from God, but we always know and trust in the God the Father, and his power and his grace and his